Hello Team FD and welcome back to Winners and Losers, where we take a look at the highs and lows from the game week just past. No Carrot Top, it's the DJ, it's the toilet brush, won't touch your hair, because if someone did that to me, I'd karate chop them.
Exactly.
How was your weekend?
Really good, thank you. Played a bunch of football and also played a bunch of FIFA. So not too bad. Average 22-yard weekend.
I saw you tweeting about playing the computer, which was a little bit sad.
Yeah, they also put Lautaro Martinez in goal, and I was losing till like the 70th minute. But I did win eventually. Your weekend was intense, by the looks of it.
Let's not talk about that. Apologies for all of my Instagram stories on Saturday. I've not drunk in a very long time, as you all witnessed. Anyway, let's move on to your beloved Chelsea, Zach. And this comes from my happy Tessa Nilo. They're leading the charge with our winners section because they've crept into fourth.
Indeed, and I'm very happy because of it. As you said, it's the first time Chelsea have managed to get into the top four this season with a 1-0 win over Newcastle United at Stamford Bridge. Now, the only goal came with just 15 minutes left on the clock as Marcus Alonso nailed it in from the left-hand side to the right-hand side of the goal. That was his 16th goal since joining Chelsea just 3 years ago, a great record for a fullback. And it was a dominating performance for the Blues, who had 72% possession, 16 shots to Newcastle's 5, and an XG of 2.3 to Newcastle's 0.2. So a well-deserved win. And Alonso was assisted by none other than Callum Hudson-Odoi, of course, who continues his amazing form following his return from injury. That marks his third assist this season in just 197 minutes of action, as well as making 5 key passes on Saturday. He looks in terrific form. No wonder Bayern Munich were after him. And despite the opposition and inferior opposition, a number of Chelsea players performed at their best, including Kurt Happy Zuma. 94% pass accuracy, 78 passes completed, 6 aerial duels won, 3 tackles and 2 interceptions. A great performance by him, who's really coming into his own after having a lot of criticism at the beginning of the season. However, it was Jorginho who was man of the match. 114 touches, 96 passes completed, 93% pass accuracy, 5 tackles, 2 aerial duels won and 1 dribble. He's another one that's also coming to his own and really thriving under Frank Lampard and allowing to kind of, instead of playing passes left and right and back, he's trying more adventurous passes. It's really interesting to watch.
Me and Van Straten got into a bit of a debate on Sunday Vibes. He was saying that defensively he's still a liability, and I wasn't having bloody any of it.
Yeah, no, he's definitely improved. It also helps as well when you don't have Kante next to you, so you're going to have to do a lot more of the work.
Also helps when you play Newcastle.
Yeah, that also, to be honest. However, guys, can Chelsea make the top 4 this season? I want to know your guys' opinion in the poll above. Hamill, how are Newcastle?
Yeah, pretty much par for the course, and that is bad at the moment, isn't it? It's pretty much what we've come to expect of them. Only twice this season have they had an XG of over 1, so really failing to generate high quality opportunities and just relying on the rub of the green, shots from outside the box, so on and so forth. Their 5 goals this season is the joint least in the league, along with winless Watford and Abraham Aguero, Aubameyang, Timu Pukki, Sterling and Jamie Vardy have all scored more individually, which never really bodes well, does it? They're averaging just 9 shots a game at the moment, which is 19th for that metric in the league, and an abysmal 2.3 on target per game, which is dead last. Record signing Joe Linton, you got to feel for him. Starved of service. He's dyed his hair, which is always a sign of, inner turmoil, much like Peter Dorman. R.I.P. He's not died, he's just left. You might know that if you tune into the Game's Gone Mad, which is out right now, and it was McCubbin on this week. So go and download that. We'll put a link in the description below. But Joe Linton sitting sitting 44th in the league for shots per game on 1.6. And they're stinking in several metrics, actually, on several fronts. Only Burnley ranked below them for passes completed per 90, and no other team has completed fewer long balls and crosses in the Premier League. So they're not even good at playing anti-football at the moment. Any bright spots, I hear you say, Zach? Maybe one in the form of Alan Saint-Maximin, who completed 4 dribbles in this game, only bettered by Willian, but he did complete just 9 of 13 passes. So not putting together a lot of combinations or, little triangles, as Sunday League managers like to call them. How was your little stint on Sunday?
It's been good. I actually didn't play.
Under your belt?
I didn't play 11-a-side this night. I played 5-a-side, but my team apparently lost 9-3, so not great.
Okay, so you did well to avoid that.
Yeah.
Up next for both sides, Chelsea visit Burnley and Newcastle host Wolves, who are the only team that average less shots per game than Newcastle. So that is going to be a thriller in Manila. Let's move on to our first news.
Our first loser comes at the suggestion of @RyD98. Thank you very much. And if you guys at home want to be shouted out in next week's winners and losers, go over to Chris Hamill's Twitter, where he drops a tweet every Saturday and Sunday. And his suggestion is none other than Liverpool. But why is that, Chris Hamill?
Good plug for my red hot timeline there. Yeah, Liverpool far from red hot in this game, though, just about salvaging a draw with that last gasp goal from Adam Lallana. And that result ended a run of 17 straight victories in the Premier League, stretching back to a 0-0 draw with Everton at Goodison in March. Also means that Jurgen Klopp has now failed to win at Old Trafford in 6 attempts, drawing 5 and losing 1. Maybe we should have anticipated this, owing to the form books. The result also means that the Reds' lead at the top has now been cut to 6 points, making the visits of Tottenham and Manchester City to Anfield in the next 3 weeks even more significant. However, both managers will probably be happy with a point after what was a fairly dour game, it's got to be said, fairly even as well. Despite the Reds dominating possession with around 68%, they only scraped an XG of 1.03 to 0.79. And we do get hung up on XG a little bit, but that's just a portrayal, a really good portrayal of how attritional and even this game was. United limited Liverpool to just 10 shots, way down in their average of nearly 16 a game this term, so they did contain them very well defensively speaking. Typically, Solskjaer's men were heavily reliant on their prowess on the counter, let's say, only managing 7 shots, with Marcus Rashford and Scott McTominay the only players to hit the target in this game. And Klopp, he's a purist and, subsequently was not impressed by United's defensive tactics in the second half. This is what he had to say after the game.
They were purely there today to defend us. It was like come on, you set up a team like Man United with the quality they have and make them just defending this, and when we have the ball then James is going or Rashford is going, that's really difficult. We should have done much better, but it's obviously the easier thing to do to play like this and when you have to pass through these lines.
There we have it, Klopp taking the limelight as always. But perhaps the biggest talking point was VAR. The Barclays back at it again, which once again raised more questions than it answered. While there was no complaints of Sadio Mane's equaliser in the first half, which was ruled off due to a handball, Marcus Rashford's opener was more contentious. The English striker put away his 4th of the season following a Victor Lindelof foul on Divock Origi in the second half. In my own opinion, wasn't a foul. Chris's opinion?
Soft, yeah.
Very.
Soft,
very
but if it had been
soft.
given, I wouldn't have batted an eyelid, yeah.
Yes, the video assistant referee judged that Martin Atkinson had not made a clear and obvious error in letting it slide. Here's what Klopp had to say about that.
They scored a goal which shows all the really all the problems with VAR. Because Mr. Atkinson, I'm sure, let the game run because things were VAR, and the VAR says, yeah, there was contact, it was a foul, but when you saw it differently, then it's 100%. It's like this, 100%, because for me it was a clear foul. We take that, we cannot change that anymore. It's just a situation, it's just a general problem. So that the VAR looks on it and says, oh, you decided like this, that's possible, because foul or no foul, but it was a foul and they didn't decide it. But our fault, there were like 60, 70 yards to run for until they scored the goal. But anyway, it's of course not cool. Then we scored a goal which was disallowed. But we still, pretty much everything went against us today and we still didn't lose, so that's okay.
Either way, the goal marked a return to form for Marcus Rashford, who took 2 shots, completed 4 of his attempted 6 dribbles and also created 1 chance. Meanwhile, the star man for Liverpool was, as always, Andy Robertson. The Scottish left-back made 4 tackles, the most on the pitch, won the ball back 6 times in total, had 109 touches, the most on the pitch bar his counterpart TAA, and got the assist for Lallana's equaliser. And it was a long time coming for Adam Lallana, who has played just 30 minutes of Premier League football this season and less than 800 minutes since the start of 2017-18. That is bleak. And this was the former Southampton's man's first goal in the English top flight since May 2017. He needed
It's been a long time coming, a long road back for Adam. Well done, mate.
Indeed, and he needed this. But does this result swing Liverpool's title hopes at all, or should we still consider them favourites? Let us know in the comments below.
Before we move on to our next section, then if you're not subscribed to the channel, then hit that button up there right now and turn notifications on so you don't miss another winners and losers all season long. Now, our final winners are the villains. It's Aston Villa. This comes from Sam Evans _. What happened against Brighton?
Well, the Midlands side grabbed a 94th minute winner against Brighton to win 2-1 at home, recording their first back-to-back victory in the Premier League for the first time since May 2015, under a very well-established manager, Tim Sherwood. The game, though, was a very tight affair. Villa had 49% possession, 24 shots to Brighton's 20, and put 8 on target to the Seagulls' 5. Now, XG would actually suggest the Villains were unlucky to see such a close game, with the XG of 2.97 for Villa to Brighton's 1.3. The game also saw Villa attempt and concede a combined 44 shots, the most in a single Premier League fixture since Man United versus Burnley in October 2016, which was 45. Aston Villa's Premier League games this season have seen a combined 293 shots, more than any other side. So great attacking wise, but defensively they need to shore up just a little bit more. Man of the match was none other than Jack Grealish, who's a great guy, and if you want to see an interview with him, head over to Squad Goals for an awkward FIFA, a really, really top lad. The Englishman scored a goal, completed 5 dribbles with a 100% success rate, created 6 key passes, and got an assist. Arguably one of his best performances in the Premier League for Villa. But how were Brighton, Hamill?
Yeah, a little bit unfortunate. I mean, Villa, this victory sees them move up to 11th. Brighton languishing around the relegation zone, aren't they? Just 1 point above it, in fact. And they've now lost 15 Premier League games in 2019, more than any other side this calendar year. Any other side that's currently in the top flight, of course. The match was pretty much won and lost when Aaron Moy was sent off in the 35th minute, picked up 2 yellow cards, and Brighton's discipline record is a little bit patchy, isn't it? Since they joined the Premier League in 17-18, only Leicester and Everton have received more red cards in the competition than the Seagulls. Naughty, naughty Seagulls. They did go 1-0 up, didn't they, for a Webster goal. He's starting to adjust to life in the Premier League really well after joining from Bristol City for big money. And it was assisted by none other than Pascal Gross, who is back to his creative best this season. A little blip after his outstanding first year, but he's now assisted 12 goals to Brighton in the Premier League in total, at least 5 more than any other Seagulls player since he joined. He has 22 goal involvements altogether, only Glenn Murray surpassing that in that time on 26. I think Brighton, despite their poor position in the table, will be fine. They're producing very sort of middling numbers, aren't they? So 12.7 shots per 90, which is the 10th best in the Premier League, and only conceding 10.3 in return. Brighton's next fixture is at home against Everton, while Aston Villa are about to embark on a really difficult run, starting with Manchester City at the Etihad. So bloody good job they got that victory under their belts, wasn't it, really? Villains fans, there you go. We've covered Aston Villa. We got some grief for putting John McGinn on the Sunday Vibes thumbnail and not really discussing him. So hopefully a bit of recompense for you there. Let's move on to our final losers.
Our final and my favourite loser. It's Tottenham Hotspur. The suggestion of @Archie_Lur. Oh, I love it. I love it, Amel.
Why are they your favourite losers?
I just love seeing them lose. So the past couple of weeks have been amazing. Then you also see Sonny start to moan, and it's like summer's back, the sun's out. Oh, it's brilliant.
What an analogy to finish the show on, and what a dour game to finish the show on. Yeah, Tottenham just about scraping a draw against bottom side Watford as Pochettino's new season woes continue. Only took 6 minutes as well for Watford to open their account, didn't it? Decore, smart finish, opened his account for the season. And poor starts becoming a bit of a theme for Spurs in recent weeks. They've now conceded in the opening 10 minutes in 2 consecutive Premier League games for the first time since November 2014. So, Potter want to nip that in the bud, won't he? And should Watford have had a second before Tottenham had the chance to reply, with Jan Vertonghen blatantly taking down substitute Deulofeu in this game? VAR checked it because it was a clear and obvious error, came under that benchmark, but didn't overturn the ref's decision. And VAR's poor form continued in this game when the wrong graphic was shown after that Dele Alli last gasp equaliser, leaving everyone confused en masse in the stadium, including our very own Danny Pape, who, was just in the group chat slagging VAR off, wasn't he? Phil Thompson, another one who wasn't a huge fan of it, and he lost his head, didn't he? So let's have a look at that.
Oh no, he's giving it. I'm packing him.
No goal.
Oh, no goal. No goal. I'm back. I'm back in the game. I'm back in the game. Oh my God, he's gone like that as though he's pointed to the halfway line. Oh my goodness.
Do you know what? When Dele Alli was running away there was definitely a look at him.
Hold on a minute. It is the kicking off. What's going on here?
Hang on. The board said no goal. The scoreboard said no goal.
That's what I'm saying, Jules. I don't know what's going on.
Come on,
this is just crazy, because the referee pointed to the centre spot, but then up on the board, the VAR board said no goal.
And the match didn't really get much better. It was quite a dull affair overall. Only 4 shots on target between the two sides. XG had it down to 0.9 to 0.85 in Spurs' favour, but obviously it's missing the 100% penalty that should have been. I don't understand why referees aren't going over to the TV and having a look. It worked in the World Cup, it works in the Champions League. Why are they not doing it in the Premier League? It's there for a reason. Go have a look. It's not that hard. Oh, sorry, I do apologise. Now, Decore, though, put in a masterclass performance. The Frenchman completed 5 dribbles and made 4 tackles, both match highs, with Dele Alli only creating more chances for each side. Horrific result for Spurs, though. In their last 22 games in all competitions, they've won 5, drawn 7 and lost 10. It is not looking good. Harry Kane in particular having a stinking performance. He had 3 shots with 0 on target, with only 1 of them coming from inside the box. His XG now sits at 0.42, the lowest in his Spurs career to date. Before that, it was 0.6. Spurs now lie in 7th, just 4 points above the relegation zone, and their North London rivals can go 6 points clear tonight if they win in Sheffield. And it doesn't get any easier for them. With an away trip to Liverpool beckoning next weekend, will Poch survive in a month's time?
You just turned into a northerner there.
Yeah.
It don't get any easier for them.
I've always wanted to be a northerner. That's the end of the video, Hamill.
Yeah, it is.
So what
That's the
should
end
the
of Winners
fans at
and
home do?
They should go over and check out ERU at 5 o'clock. All being well, hopefully this goes out at 4, ERU goes out at 5. They should go and check squad goals out. They should download the podcast from last week if they haven't already. And they should just bloody just love yourselves. Just take care.
But before you do that, subscribe to the channel.
So long.